Yeah, it's actually 1 minute early. This is crazy. It's called Inside Star Citizen Alpha 4.0, What We Do in Space. And they said this was going to be space stations and in particular, the contested zones. I'm a little bit interested in I'm more than a little bit interested in the contested zone, specifically from the standpoint of they've attempted stuff like this before and, in my opinion, failed to achieve what they were looking for at SPK, Wake of Disaster, and the one in Microtech. I can't even remember the name of it now. It's so underwhelming. And I think everything that they said so far sounds like this might be really successful. Yeah, Ghost Hollow, that's the one. This one could be really successful, so I'm super excited to hear how they learned from those and built out these. So here we go. What We Do in Space, Alpha 4.0.
By this point, it's pretty safe to say that all of you watching now know that Pyro is the next star system upcoming to the Star Citizen Persistent Universe in the upcoming Alpha 4.0. And 2 weeks ago, we started ISC's journey through the jump point to get there. And it's a good one. You should check it out if you haven't already. But what is there actually to do in the Pyro system once we get there? It's not all just pandemonium and chaos. To start, nearly every mission type and every gameplay system we've developed for Stanton works there as well. That means a life of cargo, salvage, mining, bounty hunting missions, and more are already ready to go due to their systemic development. But that's just the head start. There are also a number of new mission types, gameplay systems, and wholly unique experiences that arrive with Pyro and Alpha 4.0. And we'll be spending the next several weeks discussing them. Starting this week with What We Do in Space, where we're talking about a new kind of space station built with the more efficient level design lessons learned in Stanton. A brand new, ongoing, never stopping, never quitting contested zone system that'll reward you more and more.
Ongoing, never stopping, never quitting. That is my biggest, like we were talking about it. We watched the Voidy vid the other day, and that's what I was talking, like where Voidy, I think, strayed away from that and his ideas of what they would be. And I really felt like it had to always be on. They could never turn off. They had to always be on because it had to be a place that people were constantly fighting at.
The longer you can hold it. And a sneak peek at Asteroid Base, the long-stopping, never-quitting contested zone system that'll reward you more and more the longer you can hold it.
Reward you more the longer you hold it.
Asteroid bases that'll require both ship and FPS combat.
If it rewards us with just money, put me to sleep.
Combat combined to overcome and explore for its rewards. Let's find out more.
Oh, look at the moving laser. That's new. And they're specifically at these stations.
So in Pyro, we have 12 space stations. One of them is the jump point station that you arrive at, coming from Stanton.
When you arrive in the gas cloud, you can't see every part of the station. It's impossible. In your cockpit, you're just gonna see like a bit of it. And then when you get closer, you're gonna see like, oh, yeah, that's huge.
They are quite a bit bigger and more involved than you would find in Stanton.
The exteriors are very aggressive looking. They're very spiky. There's an almost fractal nature to it.
The space stations are owned to like different like factions, so you can see like the factions and branding on top of some of the stations. And then you can see like, oh, if it's like rough and ready, you're gonna have problems.
The Rough and Ready gang is one of our main operators in the Pyro system.
Okay.
Almost every single rest stop refueling station is going to be run by Rough and Ready. They started off back in 2939 when this enforcer named Rook had enough. He had this great plan about how they could take over the fuel operations in the system, and the ruling council of the headhunters deemed that it was too risky. But a lot of other people had gotten wind of Rook's plans, and so he ended up splintering off and kind of forming his own gang. Rook decided to take on this symbology of Rest and Relax, which is a known refueling station, and kind of do their own spin on it. And they took the double R and they became Rough and Ready. While they're totally down to defend their territory and they're not gonna take any BS from anyone who's opening fire or hurting their business, they also don't get dragged unnecessarily into conflict.
Each of the 12 stations.
So just immediately, as somebody who wants to be an industrial player, I imagine these are people that I'm going to want to build rep with, since they're more involved in the the refueling and all that stuff. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
Stations will have a unique exterior, and some of the ones will be Starlight Service Station.
Okay, never seen that
Obituary.
before. Can we stop and just stare at this for 2 seconds, please?
Obituary.
And you did see it, right? The Polaris was in there. I don't know what if this is in-game footage. The lighting here is absolutely insane. The lighting here is so fucking good. It's out of this world. I don't remember seeing them look like this. This is out of this world.
A very
incredible.
happy name. Gaslight, but maybe that's not what it's really called. And Megumi Refueling, which is not as easy as it sounds to say. And of course, there's Checkmate Station, which is a little bit different to how you may have seen it in Pyro Playground and CitizenCon. And there's also Ruin Station.
Yeah, a lot of those were
What
different.
sets Ruin
We've never
apart,
seen those
it's
before.
the big LEO. It was originally Checkmate that you would have seen in Pyro, but it's been greatly expanded. It has significantly revised and enlarged interior with much more gameplay opportunity.
How can it get bigger? They were so big before. It's even bigger?
When you arrive in a Pyro space station, you'll recognize some of the activities that you already do in Stanton to be done there as well.
They have the same facilities, things like weapon shops, food courts, hangars.
You have direct access from your hangar to the cargo deck, and that's where you can buy your commodities or sell them, and then you can return right away into your instance hangar and then go off on your trip. From there, you can also access the external freight elevators to easily load your whole Cs, and so we've made these gameplay loops much less tiring.
This was in the beginning.
And
I'll
in
go
Ruin
back and look
Station,
at
we'll
it
have
at the end, okay?
something called the Ghost Arena, which will let you discover for yourselves.
That was an FPS map if I've ever seen one. That was literally an FPS map. Go back 5 seconds. For what?
So a contested zone, design-wise, we are likening them to kind of a classic MMO dungeon. Instead of the primary way of accessing this content being behind missions, we are taking more of an open approach.
It is an open space for players to go in and farm, get loot, some...
An open space. Did you hear him just say farm? Did he just say farm? And I don't mean like farm, like wheat. Like farm. Like this is MMO stuff. They're saying MMO things.
Special rewards and explore the station even more.
So what I really like about the contested zones is the fact that they are right there next to the social space. It's really quick access, which I think is something that makes Pyro unique. You can be in the social space, you have your shops, you have the hub, you have the clinic, but the contested zone is right there, often through just a door, an airlock.
This will be very visually distinctive. It'll be very cold. There'll be ice along the walls. Some of
Temperature plays a role.
these don't have the life support systems. The
Oxygen plays a role.
power will be generally out.
We have...
He just said generally being out. Maybe we could turn it on. Resource network.
booby traps and mines. You'll hear the odd rustling inside the vents with some potential surprises in it.
At some point, you'll be facing multiple doors, and every door is giving you different things to fight, different rewards, and so you have to choose where.
Okay, he said different things to fight. Did you hear it in the background? Could you hear it? You could hear Copians, the sound of the Copian in the background. So there'll be animals. I don't know if they'll always be Copian or whatever, but I think their intention there is to let you know that there might be creatures that they've been working on.
Where to go, and some of them will be blocked through some puzzle elements like key cards to allow you to open the door and access the wing.
Some areas are more secure than others with better rewards. Other areas are highly contested.
Show the rewards.
And there's more players coming into that space and more like an arena.
We got a lot of this video left. Am I wrong to say you got to tell me what rewards you can't keep saying rewards? You gotta tell us what the rewards are. The biggest gripe that I've had about this game for years is that there's nothing worth doing. You got to tell me what the rewards are. But then I'm asking if I'm wrong because don't you want it to be a surprise as well? Like I'm having mentally I'm pulling, you know? Because like you want them to surprise you, but at the same time they've been letting me down for 35 years about the rewards in the game that I just want them to tell me that they get it, you know? That's what I'm struggling with.
They want to take advantage of that, the vibe for Pyro of PvP, of lawlessness,
fucking Nine
of being
Tails.
out,
What is that?
You know, sometimes alone, but hopefully you're there with your buddies to help back you up.
The zone inhabits various types of outlaws. These inhabitants are a constant
Chat, that guy had dev aim. That was some dev aim right there.
population within this space. So they're not spawned via missions, they just exist there, and they will respawn over time. So this is a constantly inhabited space with a constant flow of challenges.
No, it's Nine Tails. Why are the Nine Tails there?
It also inhabits creatures, whilst we...
Chat, that was not Mike aim. I have better aim than that. What was that creature? New creature?
Constant flow of challenges. It also inhabits creatures. Whilst we currently only have Copians, we're also thinking about expanding that potentially in the future.
I don't think it should be Copians at all. I think it should temporarily be Copians because that's all you have. But then as you expand it, they should be unique to space stations kind of animals, right? Totally fine to be Copians for now, but... Chat, oh my god, look at the UI. I want to die. I want to die. Look at the UI. Look at how many markers are on it. Oh my god, I want to die. They're everywhere. Why do we keep doing this?
The ends could, you could be fighting bosses.
A boss fight?
Yes, we would definitely want bosses. They could be guarding the best loot. They could be mission-based bosses that spawn.
Okay, are we doing the CIG thing here? We would like them. We could do them. Do you have them? Do you have them? Do you have them? That's what we need to know in these videos. Ugh. Okay.
As well. So whether these boss fights come to the contested zones or not, in 4.0 or beyond.
I bet you this guy's name is Gregory.
Is still up for development, but I would personally really like to see that kind of thing added to.
Yep, it's still up for development. Gregory, come on.
Contested zones to make them feel special.
So we're adding contested zones for 4.0 really to capitalize on the atmosphere, the lawlessness.
Now, did I understand everything correctly? Those were contested zones. But like we noticed, it's PvE kind of first, but it brings PvP.
Having players compete with one another, where there's really that tension of getting that loot out of there, but having to fight your way to do it. Fight your way in, fight your way out.
I gotta know what the loot is.
This is all PvP. So you gotta be careful and always be watching out.
But see, they just said this is all PvP. Yeah, I'm trying to...
For other players.
Sounds like a meat grinder.
It could be a meat grinder, especially being in Pyro with the PvP aspect. That's something that we are designing towards. Players may choose to go in to hunt other players, which I think adds a really interesting element too, because not only are you wary of the traps, the puzzles, but you have to kind of be wary, watch your back, ambushes from players, that kind of stuff.
For the social core, we've left the green zones so that people can still have an enjoyable social experience.
Yeah, learn their lessons from that one little bug that happened in Pyro.
So you don't have to worry about getting ganked every 2 minutes by other players, at least for the social space.
Unlike the global events that you know, such as Siege of Orison or Overdrive, these are spaces that always exist and that you can always go into.
Loot that you've already gotten is going to come back. The time door that we have is timed based off of the world. So you have a really huge incentive to stay there, to keep holding your ground, to really make this your space as long as you can.
I changed my mind. I don't want to be surprised at all. I don't want to be surprised at all. This looks amazing, and it could be completely ruined if the incentive isn't good. They've done, guys, Wake of Disaster is sick. SBK is sick. Ghost Hollow is sick. They are literally, all of those things are awesome. The only thing that holds them back is the rewards. They're all good. They're all good. They are. This is just the next iteration of that. And if it is the next iteration of that, if the rewards don't meet, then what's the point? I just want to know what the rewards are, because everything I see I love. Everything I see I love. But I keep going back to, if it's just UEC, just put me to sleep.
Before other people take it from you. And I think that's one of the things that's really exciting to me about bringing this to Pyro.
Hey, there they are. Did you see it? They're awesome. They're so good. Maybe that's one of the rewards.
Pyro has a number of asteroid clusters. They are the newer, larger asteroid clusters, so they should look and feel very different to the ones in Stanton.
You see
asteroid
the UI?
bases.
We're going back for the UI on the cutter. It looks really, really good. It looks really, really good.
Asteroid clusters, so they should look and feel very different to the ones in Stanton.
That's
Asteroid
fantastic.
bases for us are really trying to take advantage of our universe better in terms of the locations that we have. Space is big, space is massive.
Okay. That one has gotten me every time, and it is fucking funny.
But for our game, often we don't take as much usage of it as we should. We're taking procedural asteroids and we're carving these locations into it. And we're really providing a lot of variety in the gameplay in a form factor of space.
So you remember asteroid bases from 2022? Those look like asteroid fucking speckles of dirt compared to these. These look incredible.
Essentially, we're utilizing the station interior set that we have created, and we're wrapping them around an asteroid, a big asteroid that allows us to be a lot more versatile with the kit that we have and create some interesting layouts.
Stop showing loot and not showing the loot. Stop showing loot and not showing the loot. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to go crazy.
For you.
Asteroid base
It's going to be like fucking sub gear, guys, and I'm just going to fall asleep.
gives us the opportunity to create missions where you can be in space, then you have to go on the interior to continue the mission. We made a little twist of the bunker, little space where we can have some missions, but in space.
I'm going to say it. If many of the guns that they showed on that awesome, like the best ISC of the year, all the pyro guns, if many of them are found in these locations and only these locations, I can get behind that.
Sometimes we could start with ship combat. You could have heavily defended areas on the outside. You could be engaging enemies outside on the landing pad.
Some of them even have copion infestations.
That should be fun.
That should be fun.
Asteroid bases are not just
It'll be fun if server meshing helps the servers, because the copions so far have not been too scary. How are copions everywhere? So from a lore perspective, I think I can help a little bit. Is a lot of certain animals and certain things were used for terraforming. So like you could do the terraforming beams, but things like the cows and things like that are kind of they travel and they're used for things. Like you could just look at them like rats. I don't like that they're doing that personally. for now, but I understand why they have to do it for now. I think all of us would really, seeding fauna, exactly. I think a lot of us would want to see a more, like, if we're thinking sci-fi, I think everybody knows what we're thinking. Like face huggers, you know, they're fucking on the ceilings and shit, like at space stations. I think that's more of what people are thinking, and that's probably why they're a little disappointed with the dogs. But I think we have to respect the fact that this stuff takes time, and they want to give you an experience that they can change later. I think that that's fine. I think it's totally fine. But I do feel the same feeling. It's like, don't kill the Copian meme. Like, Copians are cool. Don't fucking overdo it. And I hear you. It feels like they're overdoing it.
Just for combat. Because they're procedural asteroids, one of the things that's really cool about them is we can have multiple routes into these locations. So players can EVA and enter through a vent hatch. You could find your way in through a hangar. You could go straight through the front door.
We've been here before.
But there's a lot of room for exploration.
I've done this.
Finding loot that's been hidden there with loot crates, and find certain items that are important for you that you want to use to progress.
Chat, look at the, they definitely did some work on the scope. This is the 4X, my favorite, the Tau Plus. Look at it. I have not seen it look like this before, so we'll take a moment. Look at the glass.
Certain items that are important for you that you want to use to progress through Pyro, things that you haven't seen before in Stanton.
Can you tell us what that is?
No, I don't want to spoil it.
Okay. I'm going to hold you so hard to that. Please, please understand how important loot is. Please. And that smile and everything, that is either going to be memed to death, or it's going to be like, fucking finally. And I really hope it's fucking finally. And I hope they don't say anything after this. Just get it right. Do it right, please. Because it hinges, everything hinges on what he just smiled at the camera about. You know what I mean? New golden ticket. It will not be a golden ticket. I don't think they've learned their lesson in that golden tickets might be bad, because I don't think that they're entirely bad. And they'll probably continue that event type thing. But I do feel like they have to have learned their lesson that players need incentives in the game. And I do hope that this is that lesson learned. We'll see.
As a baseline, we wanted to bring Pyro up to par with all the content that we already have in Stanton, but also make it unique. We believe that with the addition of contested zones and asteroid stations and all the other little pieces will give us unique aspects that really make it feel different from Stanton.
We're really looking forward to you finally getting your hands on the full experience of the stations. There's been a lot of effort put into them. There's a lot more diversity now inside and outside of the stations, both in terms of visuals and design.
Asteroid bases and contested zones, for us, are two really exciting new location types that we're bringing to the fans for Pyro.
Okay.
It's not a global event, so it's long-term. It's always going to be there. You can come back, get new cool stuff, advance your progression.
Again, it's building off of it really is building off of what I would say, definitely in quotes, the success of Wake of Disaster, SPK, and Ghost Hollow. They have had their moments of success, but kind of fell off because the rewards weren't good. The rewards were essentially just money. What are we going back for? Oh, if you ever want me to go back, tell me what I'm going back for. All right? Because we'll watch the video and we can go back for the fun stuff after. I would consider Ghost Hollow for a success. Absolutely. We fought over it for a while. Stop saying 5 seconds. Tell me what I'm going back for. Because again, we will go back and tell me to find certain things, and we'll do it. Let's watch the video, and then we'll dissect the little stuff after, okay?
Your friends and your party, your orgs.
We'll go over the things we missed at the end.
You know, have a great time in Pyro.
What else did we learn this week? Well, we learned that Rough and Ready have cornered the market on space stations in the Pyro system. And that
So Rough and Ready owns all of the space stations, so you will not be able to not go to a space station. Is if you're friends with Rough and Ready, I guess.
green zones are in place to make the experience in station social areas a bit more manageable for players. That does not extend to the new contested zones, where chaos and carnage will reign supreme.
I hope it changes.
And those who can temper it, solve their puzzles, collect their treasures, and escape will be rewarded for their efforts. And that asteroid bases should allow for a combined arms assault to explore what's contained within, and Christopher doesn't want me to say just yet. We want to make sure it'll work the way we want it to. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm
Interesting. So we want to make sure it'll work the way we want it to. I mean, I with that, there's not enough information to even like read too much into. Okay, so we're teasing an awesome reward that isn't done. Oh, fuck me. Okay.
I'm Jared Huckabee. Don't forget to vote in the Ship Showdown when that happens. Don't forget to keep testing 3.24 and 4.0 on PTU when that happens. Thanks for letting us share the people and process of game development when that happens. And we'll see you all here next week.
When
For
that
Fire.
happens. Fire's next week. All right. Nothing at the end. Okay. So just a little like, that was awesome. That was awesome. But I thought SBK was awesome. I thought Wake was awesome. And I thought Ghost Hollow was awesome. We played and fought at Ghost Hollow for months. For maybe a month, maybe more. Like it extended the patch that came out PvP wise for a long time for some of us. They were successful, I would argue, but they ended up falling off because the rewards weren't worth it enough. Wait, guys, I mean, let's talk Jump Town. Same thing, right? You can make the most beautiful areas, you can make the greatest puzzles, but if the reward isn't good, it doesn't matter. So, fingers crossed that the reward is good. And that's all we could do. I could be excited. The work looks cool. Everything looks cool. I think I was pretty positive, but, you know, I'll get called negative for saying that the loot matters, but it is what it is. Let's go back to 1 minute 50 seconds, allegedly, for the Zeus. The Zeus is somewhere.
Having the gas cloud, you can't see every part of the station. It's impossible. In your cockpit, you're just gonna see like a bit.
Is this the Zeus?
Of it, and then when you get closer, you're gonna see like, oh yeah, that's huge.
Or is that the Hawk? Oh, that's the Zeus. So it is definitely the Zeus.
Just gonna see like a bit of it, and then when you get closer, you're gonna see like, oh yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, that's the Zeus.
They are quite a bit bigger.
Okay, cool. And then what did we say? 11 minutes something? Oh, there was literally an RSI logo. I missed it. 11:52.
Spoil it.
There it is again.
As a baseline, we wanted to bring Pyro up to par with all the content that we...
And then somebody said 1422? Wait, 1422 is the end. What the hell?
Friends and your party, your orgs, and, you know, have a great time in Pyro.
I gotta say, this again is the best lighting I've ever seen in a video game. This scene, they've shown two different angles of it. I've never seen anything that looks so good. It's fucking ridiculous how good that looks. 1240, thank you.
At a global event, so it's long term. It's always going to be there.
It has side seats. No, not E1. It's got RSI seats, guys. I'll move my camera like top right. Is this the Phoenix? Yeah, it just looks like the Phoenix to me. Yeah, even Jake confirms it's the Phoenix. So we can calm down on that one, but we definitely saw a little Zeus action. But yeah, man. The stations look cool. Like the other highlights is for me all the different stations. I don't remember seeing these. I don't think we saw these in the playtest. Go to 421 for big quality of life. What? No more Who Wants Some Noodles over and over again?
Food courts, hangars.
You have direct access from your hangar to the cargo deck, and that's where you...
Oh. You have direct access from your hangar to the cargo deck.
You can buy your commodities or sell them, and then you can return right away into your instance hangar and then go off on your trip. From there, you can also access...
Nope, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. There's no way. Because he said then you can go back to your instance hangar. I'm not sure that vibes well. I don't think that's right. But we'll see. You're not accessing the cargo deck from a panel inside your instance hangar. He said you go back to your, maybe if it's an elevator that goes back and forth, that would be great. I've stated that would be one of the best quality of life things would be I spawn in my hangar, in my hab. I go to the elevator of the hab and I go directly to my hangar. I skip the city altogether. It could be a long elevator ride. I don't care. But I skip the city altogether if I don't want to. The city should draw me to it for gameplay reasons. But I don't think they'll ever do that.
The external freight elevators to easily load your whole seas. And so we've made these gameplay loops much less tiring in Pyro.
And
okay, I want to hear this again and again and again.
You can buy your commodities or sell them, and then you can return right away into your instance hangar and then go off on your trip. From there, you can also access the external freight elevators to easily load your whole seas. And so we've made these gameplay loops much less tiring in Pyro.
And in Ruin Station, we'll have something called the Ghost Arena, which we'll let you discover for yourselves.
They didn't really go into much detail on how it improved it. I'm unsure how it will work. But we'll see. So the yellow thing is the elevator. Let's see. The yellow thing. No. This is not the... So you have not played Evocati. All right, so there's your freight elevator, but you don't... It just brings freight up and down, right? This is the panel that you use to interact with the freight elevator, I guess.
From there, you can also...
Yeah. So we'll see. But that was ISC. It was a great episode. Lots of good stuff. Lots of little Easter eggs. It just comes down to what are the rewards, man. That's it. That's the only thing that matters. Hopefully they get that right. If they don't, it's just another dead game mechanic like the other three that we've been mentioning. And I hope they learn their lesson, but... 12 years of it, so I don't know. Fingers crossed. That's all I could do. They have so much potential, everything they do. Let's just hope they meet it this time. Also, yeah, Wave 1 coming, which is kind of exciting. So check out the live stream if you guys haven't yet. I'm going to be cargo hauling my tits off.